Hello, welcome back to another league series. We have here, shoot, what are these
We
team
got
names? We got
the
the
Junkyard Dogs and Like Clockwork. I'm AGLA. This is Deathcrawler, and we are going to be bringing you this cast today. So, Death, what do you think about these teams? Because I have not actually, I've played against Nkot's team, but I haven't seen Lux's team yet.
yeah. So I'm feeling like Lux's team is probably on paper the highest seed or the higher seed of the matchup, but I would be remiss if I discounted Gingy and Demon as really solid tanks on this team. It's
Absolutely.
gonna kind of, I think, for the Junkyard Dogs, gonna kind of come down to their running.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm pretty sure Nkot is the runner on this team full time. So, assuming he is, looks like they're both ready, so we'll be starting here shortly. Assuming he's on point, they're not turning the ball over like crazy because Lux is going to be, I mean, laser focused on that runner. He's going to try and get the ball turned over, turn it into a play,
Mm-hmm.
try to stop the runner on the plate and just score really quick. That kind of jazz.
Right.
Uh, and they can get the ball in the first place, and they have a shot. Otherwise, though, Solace, Rain, Lux, super solid tanking lineup. The question mark is going to be Weven.
Yeah.
He's new. This is his first season back, or first season in. He's played in customs and stuff. Um, but it's Lux's younger brother, and
Oh, I
the
didn't know that.
bloodline is strong. So
Interesting. Didn't know that. By the way, you are the host, and it looks like both teams
I'm
are
starting.
ready to go. Let me get the audio here for a little bit. Just get my mic up. Looks like
Okay.
all right, we should be good to go. So looks like we're getting into match. We are going to start game one of this best of three. Like you were saying though, yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see how Weven matches up with these guys because I have
Yeah.
noticed in when I've scrimmed Lux's team, which obviously not a league game, but when I've scrimmed them, Weven has been kind of the player that I've been able to exploit the most out of their team. Rain is typically a pretty good tank, but and same with Lux. Solace has been
Yeah.
pretty solid as well. Weven has seemed to be like there's a learning curve there, and he's definitely learning, but it could be the reason that Nkot's Junkyard Dogs actually take some rounds, if not take the series.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it many times on teams, especially with a pool like this. If you have a black hole on your team that just can't get the KD, just can't get the kills, it's really hard to ever get anything or count on your tanking line. And
Absolutely.
no amount of carrying from Lux is gonna make up for that. Oh, and just like that, we have our first goal.
Just like that. Yeah, I was letting you go there for a minute, but Gingy just kind of walking it in there. Tank line held up for him, and Gingy's gonna strike first for the Junkyard Dogs, going up 1-0 in this game here. They're gonna start the kickoff here as Wevin's challenging. Solace ends up getting killed by Gingy. You end up with a lot of trades, and Demon will actually escape with the ball, tossing it back to what looks like to be their designated carrier, Gingy, as they've both the first
Oh,
round
I
and
see. That's
now
a change up.
passed off. Yeah, Gingy's gonna be their carrier. Recharge and Demon both going off to the flanks. Nkot trying to pierce in here against Lux, just ends up trading against Solace. And we're going to see if they can develop anything here in the mid area of the map. It looks like Gingy's going to get pushed back. And really, Junkyard Dogs really need to start getting a more formidable tank line here set up because they just keep trading out and they're not making any pushes.
Yeah, and I'm starting to feel like Gingy on the ball. I mean, it's not the choice I would make,
Mm-hmm.
frankly, but because I mean, he's a consistent tank is really how he is,
Right.
and so taking power off of the field. I mean, I guess we'll see how it plays out, but he did get that first goal. It felt a little bit like a fluke. It was a little bit fast. It was almost like a pro run, like
Yeah.
a semi-pro run.
Yeah, definitely
So
felt like a
anybody can
quick
get caught by those.
it felt like a quick one there where they just kind of either developed some sort of weakness or something along those lines where they just kind of found space on the left side of the opposing side. And as I say that, Recharge finding a lot of space at the plate, but it looks like he's going to get traded out, force a kill on Lux, and it looks like they're just going to reset this tanking line here for Like Clockwork. Lux running up here up the center, Rain holding the right flank, Demon trying to hold the left flank, ends up jumping over Lux, Lux sword not connecting there, and it looks like Recharge will end up finding a little bit of space here on the right side, but ends up getting killed back there by Rain. So we're just seeing a lot of trades here. Ends up seeing a betrayal. Can we see actually some an exploit here from taking that betrayal?
Oh, he didn't
Nkot
die?
doesn't die,
Staying
then
alive gets a
trades.
double?
Oh my god, this is looking like they're
This
gonna
is
get the
like-
score
this is a
here.
goal.
Oh, this is actually going really rough.
Oh
That-
my
I think
gosh.
Genji hesitated there. I think Genji could have gotten that in and instead
He
hesitated right behind his tank. If he had rushed in right on Rain's hammer there, he probably would have gotten that store, put us to a quick 2-0.
He would have had a he would have had
Weven
a
with
chance.
the turnover. Weven with the turnover. And that's where we're starting to see a bit of the inexperience. Weven might be their designated carrier, but he definitely does not have the same experience as the rest of his team. So you end up seeing that turnover where he just didn't punch the sword correctly, and you end up with a costly turnover. Luckily, doesn't result in any scores yet for that team, but it is going to give some space to Gingy here to, again, hold possession. And if you hold possession for 99% of the game, you're eventually going to score.
Yeah, eventually. And it looks like kind of the way they're playing right now is they're having Demon sort of be the cornerstone, play with the runner on their tanking line, and they're going to have Frenzy running off on the flanks. Seems like alternating a little bit with Nkot running on the flanks, but I would assume that, you know, if I know Frenzy on the tanking line, he can be a savant on the goal line. So I would rather
Absolutely.
have him up there running the flanks, trying to get spawn kills. He's
Demon with
kinda
the pass
one of
player.
those-
Read
Oh.
up to pass play. Weven gets
Can he get off the
outplayed. Can
shelf?
Demon get it? No, he
Rain stopped
cannot.
it.
Like you said with the shelf there, it got stuck on the shelf, and then Rain ends up receiving it back. So now it's going to be a turnover at the plate, as Rain is now the carrier here for Like Clockwork. So we see Lux going out on the flank here with Rain being tanked in by Weven. Weven just gets killed, but Lux is a free man here. He's just got to beat the one man, goes for the
Oh
dive in,
my.
and that's just a positioning error there by the Junkyard
beautiful
Dogs.
catch.
Beautiful catch, though. Absolutely.
Found the opportunity. He gave a little bit of a stutter step. You might have saw that. He stepped
Absolutely.
back, let him finish his swing, and then he went right in.
Absolutely. That little stutter, I take advantage of that as well whenever I'm playing. It's a very effective way to...
Oh,
Oh,
a
unfortunate
clean double
positioning.
kill.
Solace getting a little
They
too
still
close
get
to
it.
his teammate there, but they do end up holding onto possession anyways, as Weven is going to be the one carrying the ball now. I don't know if that was an attempted launch or not, but it definitely did not go the way they wanted.
It's like a mistake to me. I don't think they're taking a launch on a 1-1 game like this.
Absolutely.
I just don't see it. I think that was a mistake. That's unfortunate. Rain, he doesn't take the safety off of that hammer. I'll just say that much.
No, he does not. And sometimes that works in their favor, but a lot of times it ends up costing them dearly. Ends up getting a pass out here by Lux. Doesn't get the trade on the sword.
It's a swung hammer is right 2 times a day or whatever.
Absolutely.
If you just keep swinging, you can eventually find something.
Absolutely. Lux holding onto space here for his carrier. Weven coming over. Solace ends up being the ball carrier here, as Weven's going to clean up the backside of their own spawn. It's going to be 4 alive here for Nkot's team, the Junkyard Dogs. As I say
Weven
that's a
getting
triple there for the Like Clockwork, getting a double for Weven. Weven swinging on his own ball carrier there, getting a little bit frisky. Can Lux hold on to the space here? Somehow Lux doesn't die, forces the betrayal on Gingy. Recharge looking for the sword, doesn't quite get it. Lux is still alive, giving time to Like Clockwork to be able to retake space here, get their tank line back up. You really wish that Weven there could have pulled off that flank, though. Maybe pulled some guys away from the left side of the field here, as Solace is just being forced onto the back foot. May be looking for a pass play here to Weven, but Weven does get killed out on the right side, as Demon will recollapse here on the ball carrier. Risky punch there, but carried out by Lux there to make sure that there is no trade. And as I say that, you end up getting a trade with team captains Nkot and Lux trading, as we are just seeing a lot of trading here in the mid area, as Lux is going out for maybe a flank, ends up coming back to support his ball carrier as the entire tanking line crowds.
Oh, that
Solace with a
interception.
very costly pass there, does not find the correct target, ends up finding Recharge's hands here. Demon trying to hold on to space. You might want to see a pass out here by the ball carrier here for the Junkyard Dogs, but it is a 4v3 now, as they're constantly keeping one on the spawners.
Bad. Oh my.
Unfortunate, right on the plate. It ends up in Demon's hands, and
they
that
end
will
up
be a
scoring.
score. Absolutely, that was a scramble if ever I've seen one, and it's going to be a 2-1 scoreline for the Junkyard Dogs.
I'm really having a lot of doubts about the way Lux is conducting this running on Like Clockwork. So we've seen now 3 different runners. It's been Weven, it's been Irene, and it's been Solace. I think they kind of just need to figure out a flow here. It doesn't seem like they have their feet underneath them.
Absolutely. We saw this a couple days ago with the last match that was played here in the league, in the AGLA, that one team had a very high prowess team, the other team just was kept giving the ball to a different carrier every round, every possession, different carrier, different tanks. And if you can never find that, the footing, can never find a comfort spot of like, okay, I'm the carrier, I got confidence in this, you're going to end up potentially having turnovers or scores.
Yeah, and it's just really, I think, it comes down to just fluidity and motion and making sure you can get your gears turning as a team. And if they are switching off that much, I can see, one or two players switching off with the ball, but when you're switching off between 3 or 4 players on the ball, I mean, you just really can't develop that chemistry. Oh, and a turnover with Irene picking up the ball.
Yep, that was a very lofty punch there. If the thruster hadn't been used by the ball carrier there, and instead he had gotten the punch and then boosted, he would have probably been able to make it to the plate. But unfortunately, having exhausted all of his options, he was just left out to dry and killed by the second member there by like Clockwork. A lot of punches here by Rain, trying to keep himself alive. Ends up trading a couple kills and giving the ball back over to Wevin, his own teammate.
So they hold on to it. Very good double kill.
Absolutely.
Help stop that push.
Absolutely. So we end up seeing, it looks like Rain looking out for the flank here. If he beats Recharge, we might see a pass play. It's kind of a little bit difficult for the punch. Ends up getting it. Rain gets traded out on the plate, and so we're not going to see any flank play here just yet. We might see one develop in the next play here if they want to put someone out on the flank to match Recharge here. Solace matching Recharge, ends up killing Recharge, giving a lot of opening there on the left side. Wevin might want to actually rotate
He's got
out.
Some attention.
But Solace now getting attention allows, like you said, allows Lux to push up here against Captain v Captain here on the right side with Rain. Dual tanking here with Lux. Very strong tanking line here between Rain and Lux. But Rain, as I say that caster curse, Rain ends up falling, and like Clockwork gets pushed right back. You want to keep saying that they'd be running like Clockwork, but they just aren't running like Clockwork right now. And Junkyard Dogs, acting like the dogs that they are keeping on to space here to make it hard for Lux's team to come back in this match.
Yeah, I'd like to take a moment here and just look at these stat lines. I know we're about 3 rounds in, so people are kind of getting warmed up. But
absolutely,
Wevin's 20 and 30, not bad for him. That's a decent performance so far.
Yeah.
But Solace is lagging behind. He's 28 and 37. You really he's the second best tank on that team. We really need him to start getting more kills if Light Clockwork's really going to get anywhere.
Absolutely.
Lux is doing well. He's plus 10, 37, 27. So, and Irene, of course, is
keeping it even,
holding steady at 36, 34. So, they have a little bit they can count on. But going over to the other team, Nkot 33 and 38. Recharge is 30 and 43. And Demon is leading the charge 32 and 24, which is really, like I said, he's the foundation for their tanking line, and he's really
absolutely
just kind of slow and steady, roll up the side and get a bunch of kills.
Absolutely. Forced betrayal there in the center as Demon ends up getting a betrayal on Nkot to kill Rain, giving some space here to like Clockwork on the right side. And like you said, these two tanking lines clearly showing that they are very evenly matched, as we see both teams end up having players that are a little below on the KD, one player that's matched up, and a couple players that are being that main tanking line, the people who've got the plus 10, the plus 5. But you are probably going to want to see if Lux is going to end up pulling out an advantage here to end up getting another score, you probably want to see those numbers for the main tanks go up to maybe plus 20, plus 30 by the end of this match.
Yeah, it looks like Lux is really pulling ahead on the tanking. Wevin is holding the ball, so it's about 3 possessions in a row I've seen. It seems like they're probably committed to Wevin holding the ball for the rest of this game.
Yeah.
I guess we will see how that goes, but
ooh, bad dash by Wevin there, boosting with the ball. You hate to see it there from the novice player here, the novice ball carrier. Gingy, again, it looks like you said, I think Gingy is probably their main carrier here on Junkyard Dogs. Like you said, a little bit unconventional based on the wisdom that we have of these players, but it seems that Gingy's kind of their main ball carrier, and Wevin's the main ball carrier for Light Clockwork. Only, pending exceptions with bad, if they get a turnover or anything along those lines. But it does look like Junkyard Dogs are going to hold on to that possession as Wevin ends up getting killed here on the side. Demon doesn't die somehow.
Wow,
Lux ends up getting the kill
avoidance.
and then traded anyways by Solace, I should say. Really unfortunate there, because getting that free kill basically on Lux could have been a godsend for scoring. Wevin going in for the sword, doesn't end up getting it. Trade onto Lux, and luckily
really body blocked for his runner there.
Absolutely. Bailing out his ball carrier. Recharge looking for a play there on the far side, doesn't end up finding it, trading with Rain there, and we're just going to kind of hold space here. Wevin does try to go for the punch there, ends up getting killed by Gingy. Demon trying to make any level of chaos there in the central back area of the light clockwork line. Solace going for the sword, just getting some damage on the ball carrier. But again, we're not seeing... basically, Nkot's tanking line is not allowing for a 2v1 against the ball carrier, but at the same time, Lux's team is not finding those openings to be able to take advantage of a team that so far, since those 2 wins, has been having a really hard time getting past the midline, apart from turnovers.
Yeah, we're really grinding to a halt here. I mean, we're getting into the 6-minute mark on this round 4, so... I mean, it's looking like, somebody's got to make some plays happen. They need to start figuring out their team composition. I think if anything's going to happen, it's going to be,
there it is. Like double sword ends up taking the ball carrier. Ball carrier going for a very risky punch into dash, ends up pulling 2 swords. Didn't have any tanking line with him, and it ends up being a
Lux is
costly
making a break for it.
I see that. Lux making a break for it. Do they go for the throw play? I don't know if it seems like Lux might be calling for it. Wevin going for it with his captain. The scramble! The double pass behind Nkot! Oh my god!
They make it out, but no score.
No score, but they do keep a hand on the ball there. And that was a chaotic play. Very impressive.
I think Lux is a veteran player. I think he's recognized what we're talking about right now, which is that they really need to start changing stuff up. So, I mean, that was changing it up. They double sorted, and then they tried to make a...
Oh my god. Very close.
Can he defend?
Demon ends up getting the ball here.
He doesn't have it.
Yeah, he does not have it. Very close, though. That could have been extremely costly. Bring the game to a 3-1 scoreline here. Demon going overhead there. Doesn't find anything in the air. Gingy now going to be the ball carrier as Nkot ends up getting killed there by Rain. Demon trying to hold this left side, try and find a flanking angle. Gingy seems to be rotating towards that flank side, though. And as I say that, Lux is coming in with the sword. Ends up getting a good punch there. Demon is alone on the far side. Unfortunately, that pass a little bit late. If that pass came in maybe a half second earlier, maybe we find that quick score there by Junkyard Dogs. But, yep, just like you said, Nkot getting the turnover right at the plate, gets the punch on Lux, tosses it right back out to his team. Demon going to try and hold space here.
In and out.
Absolutely.
Special ops on the goal line right there.
Yeah, Junkyard Dog, Nkot. Oh my god, where did Lux get sent to? Lux is in the stratosphere. Gingy gets spun around. Yep, and then Rain now going to hold on to the ball as Demon is a back member here. Throws it back out to his designated ball carrier. Wevin going to spend the time going back to get the ball, and we're going to reset the lines here. We are at 8 minutes in this round. This is a slog of a round here, and you really have to... You're going to see here which team has that mental edge in terms of their team's toughness, that they're able to slog these games out. These long matches, full matches of Griffball are typically between 15 to 25 minutes, and we've almost spent half of that in one game of this entire match. So we're gonna have to see if maybe Wevin will show a little bit of that that Lux energy, given that, like you said, it's the young brother. But I say that Demon passing the ball in right to recharge. That was a dirty play and ends up paying out for Junkyard Dogs, exploiting a mistake there by Like Clockwork. You end up with a scoreline 3-1 as we move into game 5 of this first round, round 5 of this first game.
They were trying to set something up there. Lux took a lot of space, was just sitting on the plate, but they didn't throw out in time. And I actually don't know who had the ball there that lost it on Light Clockwork.
I'm actually not sure because there were so many passes.
I think it was Wevin, but
Yeah, I believe, actually, funny enough, I don't believe it was Wevin that time around, and I think he passed it out to a player who ended up getting it and immediately turning it over. It looked like it might have been kind of a blown play there where someone was where they weren't supposed to be, but from the Junkyard Dogs, and it just completely tore open their defense. But as we say that, we're seeing a push play here by Wevin. Wevin's going for it, just going to run it in. That's a great play by Lux. Was waiting there on the plate in case Wevin wanted to go for the pass. Wevin holding on to that ball this time around, being like, no, I'm going to score this. I'm getting us to 2 points, and we're going to go on to a round 6.
Tit for tat, we're 3-2. This is not a foregone conclusion. Usually when you see an 8-minute round like that, things start to slow down. the momentum really shifts the moment one team gets a score, and kind of after that, it's just sort of a landslide for the rest of the game. But
Absolutely.
it looks like they're mental strong, they're holding on. I mean, we're really on the first game, so we'll kind of see how this goes. But
Aggressive play by Gingy there as he tries to go for that long punch on Rain. Doesn't end up paying off. Rain dropping the ball. I think he wants Weven to come back and pick it up, but unfortunately Weven is just going to be like, nah, man, I want to kill. And so he runs in to go get some kills. Rain with a costly just head-to-head turnover by the sword carrier there as Weven and Solace now going to face off against Demon, and it looks like Recharge here on the right side with Gingy as the ball carrier, Nkot being the flanker. And we're still seeing a lot of trades here, so we're not seeing a lot of ground yet. If Demon can get that trade, doesn't get the trade, so instead, Nkot's going to get traded, and then we're going to get a punch there. So many missed punches and swords! How many people
looks like
can
we have a
miss?
stoppage.
It does look like we have a stoppage, potentially having a connection issue. Yep, it looks like I only see 3 members on the blue side, so it looks like that we have lost, what is that? I believe that's Recharge. Yep, I believe
Yeah, I'll
Recharge.
give him an invite and ask what's up, but
Yeah.
I assume he just disconnected.
Yeah, I actually in a I believe might have been either in late league or there's a game I was playing where Recharge actually crashed out of the game or had like a network issue. So it might be just a ongoing issue that he's still working on, but he should be able to join back here shortly. While we have the stoppage though, I've pulled up the stats here and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing Yluxe and Demon are doing what they're supposed to do. They're their head tanks. You're seeing Rain and Gingy are holding on to near even score lines. Gingy at a +5.
Not a bad stat line from Gingy,
Yeah.
considering they're primarily giving him the ball at the moment. So,
Right.
I really don't mind that for my runner.
What that does tell you though is that what we're seeing here is that the ball carrier is actually having to get a lot more kills than maybe with a with a pushing tank line. Typically with a pushing tank line, the ball carrier wouldn't actually have to get that many kills to get scores. So we're seeing that they're really having to fight it out. Everyone's having to do their job. Everyone's having to get a lot of kills for Nkot to get that space and put them right now at the 3-2 score line.
Yeah, it's a real knife fight. They've been fighting in the middle for a long time, and when they're beating the ball, they've been able to make as much space. It tends to be on their side of the equation that they've kind of turned over the ball on the enemy goal line and then turned that into a goal each time. At least for 2 of those goals, it was definitely a clear momentum shift where things just flipped on a dime. So.
And
I don't know if they're pulling together these like strong tanking pushes or maybe that'll switch around, but you'll see.
Absolutely, and I will say as as a member on Scullin's team when we played against Nkot, we noticed this with Nkot's team that we were doing quite well with tanking in a number of the matches, but what ended up happening is a costly mistake into a fantastic taking advantage of a weakness by Nkot's team. They, like their name says, they will rip you to shreds if you leave one iota of a weakness, and that's what we've seen, like you said, with the 2 costly turnovers right near the plate, is that if you're not keeping an eye on where the enemies are, if you're not being smart about where you're carrying the ball, Nkot's team will strike very quickly and get those scores.
Yeah, just a pretty predatory team. They're really looking for those plays.
Absolutely.
I know that about Nkot. I know that about Gingy. Demon, he's a veteran player. I think he kind of tends to play a little bit passive. I'm not going to see a ton of playmaking from him, but I know for sure those 2. And like I said, Friend loves to get to the goal line and make things happen.
Absolutely.
So taking a look at some of these other stat lines, he's closing in on +20 already. We're in round 6.
Yeah.
So I predict he's probably going to go +30, +40.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if he reaches +40.
I'm expecting, honestly, the lion's share of players here to go over 100 kills. From what I can tell here, this is looking like one of these games that are going to go to probably a 5-4 scoreline unless there's some fluke that happens and Nkot's team just takes advantage and runs away with it. But based on the current pace, we're probably going to see a number of players go over 100 total kills. We might see over 100 total deaths on a number of players as well, as it's just they're spending a lot of time in the midfield, a lot of time just trading and trading and trading and trading, and so we'll have to see if that comes true. But definitely giving us an exciting one so far, and a very close one at that, as compared to what we've seen from other matches where we kind of saw a lot of runaways, where one team just got the mental edge and takes round after round after round.
Yeah, you definitely want to see that 4-4 griff ball. It really makes it a game,
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna go ahead and check in on the teams really quick.
Yeah.
Just make sure everything's going all right with Recharge and joining back.
Okay, yep. And so we're going to take a quick break here on the cast. I'll keep the game running here until we see Recharge, but we will be back shortly as soon as Recharge is back in the game. Stay tuned. All right, looks like we do see Recharge back in the game. Players are given the classic ready check of jumping with their hammers, so we might be seeing gameplay starting back up here as Recharge is retreating back to his side with Nkot's team. We'll have to wait and see here if the teams are willing to get going. Most of Nkot's team is moving. Yluxe hasn't started moving yet, so we will have to see if we're going to get back into play here.
Okay. It looks like they're back and they're ready to start again.
Yep, I do see that. I'm assuming that the teams probably have agreed upon a timer in the game of when to start, and it looks like we
they might be messaging each other.
Absolutely. It looks like Nkot's team is certainly ready to go. Yluxe's team is just being statues here. Okay, and we are back underway. Back underway here with Weven holding onto the ball. Rain dying, Solace dying, immediately being forced to throw it out to Yluxe as Yluxe goes for a hi-hat crab. And we're going to see if maybe on the right side we can see some more success. Weven unfortunately having to trade there, and we're just...
Another throw.
Yeah, just a lot of hot potato here. Weven getting caught on the respawn as Recharge is going to go for the ball there. Passing it back to Nkot.
When I was in VC with this team, you know what they said to me? I was like, do you guys want to dispute and get the ball back? Because it seemed like Gingy had not known that their player was gone. And they said, no, fuck that. We'll get the ball back here real quick. And
absolutely.
What do you know? They went and got it back. So
if anything, if this so far this entire game is anything to go by, that's been the case. While Yluxe does have 2 out of the 5 scores here, the ball carrying time, I'd love to see the stat on it. Nkot's team has been holding onto that ball way longer than Yluxe's team has. So Demon here going to be the ball carrier for a moment as respawns are coming in. Very dangerous pass over the plate there as Demon again holding onto the ball because we just can't find any safety here for Yluxe's team as it looks like Gingy might have betrayed Nkot there. We got multiple kills. Yluxe ends up getting betrayed by Rain as Rain picks up the ball. Rain passing it back out, gets the throw out right to Yluxe. Yluxe probably going to leave it back for Weven. Maybe Yluxe is going to try and bring it in himself with Solace. You're right, with Solace still there, we might be seeing a fast play here as Solace still holding on to space for so long, giving time for like Clockwork to make plays, but unfortunately the whole tanking line does fall apart there, and Weven will reassume his role as master ball carrier. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Gets a good punch on Recharge there. Potentially giving some better confidence to the novice ball carrier here as Weven tries to lock it in and get the team to a 3-3 scoreline with his very, very star-studded front tank line here of Solace, Yluxe, and Rain. Unfortunately, Rain and Solace both falling there. Yluxe trying to hold on to space. Somehow sword cancels. Yeah, interesting.
He thrusted it at just the right time. There actually is some predictability to that. I thought it was just a bug, but yeah, you can thrust it just the right time and break the lunge. So
interesting, because I've
and if anybody can do it, it's Yluxe.
Absolutely, Yluxe getting a double kill at the plate. Awesome. That's a free play. There you go. Wow, fantastic throw, amazing. Fantastic play. Yluxe showing why he is one of the best tanks in this league with that double kill that just brings us right to a 3-3 scoreline very quickly off of the stoppage.
And all credit to Yluxe, he's a great player, but I do think that was a colossal mess up right there on their tanking line. They were bunched up and he got that double kill.
Absolutely.
Some decision there. Oh, this might turn around into a
quick 4-3 scoreline.
The trail kills it.
Yeah, not quite. Solace is also zoning the ball here. No tank line in front of Nkot. Gingy with an unfortunate early swing there. Solace does end up killing Gingy, but Solace is now kind of a pass player behind Nkot as Gingy trying to help out his tank here. Recharge ends up having the ball here as we get a throw out by Yluxe. Gingy going on the right side. Recharge is kind of stuck here. Ends up getting the punch on Yluxe. Good play by him. Holding the space here. Gingy just pulls the hammer there from Rain. Rain gets punched in the back, and we are at a 4-3 scoreline. Remember when we had like a 9-minute round? These rounds are flying by now. We might be going to a 5-3 score here, potentially a 4-4 scoreline very quickly, much quicker than we were expecting. That stoppage might have actually affected the team's play styles.
That was some beautiful team play there on the tanking line. They were doing psychological warfare, Truly, they didn't know what to do.
Oh, we're going
with
for a
one
fast
guy
play
sitting on the
here.
plate.
Not quite going to work. But I do agree with you there that, yeah, there's a bit of psychological warfare at work here as some of these players, now that we had a little bit of stoppage there, we had a little bit of time. Gingy with a lot of faith in Demon there. Demon might have been able to get it with the right hammer boost there. Unfortunately, does not
That's
work.
not a throw I would have taken.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty risky one if I've ever seen one. With Gingy, though, getting a lot of kills on this side, really struggling to keep the ball in Clockwork's hands. A lot of swords here on the ball carrier. Ball carrier gets his
almost
eyes
a
split.
turnover.
Almost a turnover. Luckily, Lux's team clutches up. Weven will grab the ball. Lux will hold on to space, take out the opposing captain. Lux trying to go for a ninja sword. He has a kill tack. Fantastic tanking. Rain filling right back in for his captain. Ends up getting traded against Recharge as Nkot and Gingy will fill in against Solace. We're seeing a lot of people throwing their bodies away here. Might want to play a little bit slower. Everyone take a breath, find some space here, and find an opening in this Nkot line to bring us to a 4-4 scoreline. As Solace does get that kill on the far left side against Recharge, we might be seeing a flank play out here as Solace pulls 2 tanks to his position. Maybe we can see a push here. Unfortunately, the front tank line right in front of Weven completely evaporates, and it is only 1 alive for Like Clockwork as they have to reset that play.
Definitely a very, very scary position for Like Clockwork. I don't trust Weven. If I'm the captain right now, I'm like, I don't want my ball runner alone. I'm going to be yelling, throw the ball, throw the ball.
Absolutely, absolutely. As you say that, very aggressive play. I have to wonder if
there
that
was
is
no
just
play there.
Yeah, if that's just misjudgment
miscalculation.
or Weven expecting someone else to die on Nkot's team, but there were just all hammers in front of him, no teammates to help him. Which isn't their fault. It's just the Nkot's team ended up playing a lot better, and Weven just gets left out in the dust. Recharge, though, gets the kill on Weven. Gingy could have gone for the throw. Oh, this is free. He's still getting kills.
Oh,
we are at a 5-3. That is going to be the
wins.
first one here for Nkot's team. Junkyard Dogs going up 1-0 against Like Clockwork. And I got to say, if I'm being honest, Junkyard Dogs felt like that they were playing a lot more like Lux's team name, Like Clockwork. As soon as they got into a groove, they were cruising.
They were cooking it there at the end, and I mean, I talked about it in the first act. It came back in the third. Frenzy is just a savant on that goal line, and I think he's like a virus. You got to inject him. You got to get him up there. You got to get him into the play, and then once he's there, he can really work some magic, which we just saw. So looking forward to they're ready for game 2. Let's take a second, just kind of review these stat lines.
Yeah, I got the stat lines pulled up here on the main stream, so feel free to kind of talk us through what was going on here, because I from what I can tell, it kind of just ran away for the Junkyard Dogs here.
Yeah, so nothing crazy remarkable about KD spread. I'm noticing that everybody was negative on Lux's team except for Lux.
Yep.
That definitely hurts. I kind of expected that, but again, looking at Gingy and Demon, who are the only 2 positive players on the other team, they were only +6, +13, whereas Lux was +27. Now he's eating everybody's lunch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But when you're consolidating all of that power in one person versus kind of spreading it between an entire tanking line, I think it really shows when this team was able to put more work together, put more plays together.
Absolutely.
Junkyard Dogs was just able to be more effective. I think they're really going to have to. Weven's going to have to step it up. I think that's kind of the weakest link, kind of determines the game, and so I'm hoping to see a little bit better performance from him.
Yeah, and I will say it did feel like that Lux's team had pretty good tanking once they got onto their feet, but Nkot's team was really good at making it so the developing play wouldn't develop too far, and then they just made the ball carrier uncomfortable. And they know that Weven is very susceptible to potentially being uncomfortable. He's not used to being the ball carrier as much. This is his first season playing, and so they know that if they can make the ball carrier a little antsy, a little bit anxious to try and get for that punch, go for the score, like, oh, we want to get us to a 4-4 score line, like they saw where Weven went into that 1v3 scenario that's just completely unwinnable. Nkot's team taking advantage of the newer player, and we'll have to see if maybe a little bit of a 1 minute, 2 minute pep talk here from Big Captain Big Brother Lux can maybe get Lux's team back
online. A little abuse, a little slapping around, maybe you can get him in.
Maybe we'll have to wait and see here as we are loading in here to game 2 of this best of 3. Reminder: it is a best of 3. Nkot's team is on match point. If they win this game, they are going to go 2-0, and that will also mean that they are undefeated in league play up to this point. So we will have to see if they will hold on to that streak or not.
I forget what team they won against that first series.
Oh, that
was the Scullin?
Yeah, that was the Scullin's team. Yes, the team that I'm part of.
Right.
So that one was they absolutely rocked us like they're rocking Lux's team here. They are finding the openings, and they are, just as we saw in the first game, they got possession, they're holding on to it, they play those kickoffs very well, and Lux's team is already a little bit scattered here as multiple players went back to try and deal with the flanker Demon, as Lux's team continues to have problems with potential flankers, like you said, with Recharge, or otherwise known as Frenzy, constantly making it difficult for a real tank line to develop by Lux's team, and to make it easier on Lux's team to collapse on the ball carrier.
Yeah, and so Genji's holding the ball. Junkyard Dogs won that first tip-off. If they can hold on to the ball, which they're more likely to do, Genji's a solid tank, solid runner. He's all around just a good player, a lot of experience under his belt. You compare that to Weven, who is first season, turning over the ball like a liability in the corner. No offense to him, it's just the truth of it. And there's a pass into the goal.
that was Rain got caught just a hair of a second flat-footed, ends up being able to have that gap closed by Gingy, and Demon just wins out on the left side there, making it a very simple pass play score, short pass score. We end up seeing this kickoff here as it looks like Lux's team actually holding on to a little bit more space here. Ends up having the ball initially.
And Demon cleans it up.
Demon does clean it up, but it's looking like potentially, no, okay, Gingy is going to end up getting possession of that. It looked like it could have been potentially a counterplay there by Lux's team to try and get that ball back, but we are right back where we were just a minute ago, where Lux's team is caught flat-footed. Deep pass to Lux.
Deep pass,
past Lux to try and maybe Frenzy go for a fast play, single kill into ball carrying, but a little bit aggressive there. Potentially Nkot's team trying to make Lux's team feel a little uneasy, make them really double check for those flankers.
Oh, they're taking chances. I mean, you got a game one under your belt, so
you're at the 1-0 scoreline, so you're in the full driver's seat right now. You can kind of determine the pace of the game, and with a younger player like Weven being as the ball carrier, he might get a little antsy, be like, oh come on, we gotta win this, we gotta win this right now.
Pass too.
He's going for it. Solace will trade, and that ball's gonna go right back into Gingy's hands. One thing I'll say, I have not seen many times that Nkot's team, they just turn over. I was going to say, I've not very often seen Nkot's team go for those deep pass plays except for when they're leading. Instead, you're seeing Lux's team from the deficit going for kind of a desperation play, and ends up getting
himself
space. Absolutely.
A great tanking performance there. He held his space. I think he got 3 kills by the end of that. He sat there, he held space, and Lux was able to get it in.
Exactly. I mean, that's that brother sibling lineup there. Probably having a little bit of better synergy between the two of them. Unfortunate.
Nasty betrayal.
Nasty betrayal. That's how he rewards his younger brother for tanking him in for that score. He immediately kills him. Nkot getting the ball right back from Solace. Are we going to see a fast play? They do not have a push. Ends up with a sword right into Nkot's back as the ball is right back in Gingy's hands, and we are right back where we were. Gingy getting some space here on the left side. Frenzy on the right. Nkot trying to fill in space mid, ends up just falling to Recharge falling to Rain as Recharge is trying to stay alive. Solace ends up taking him out in the corner there, and we're kind of just right back to that middle of the field area. A little bit of unfortunate positioning here by the tanking line of Junkyard Dogs. Frenzy going for that far corner there, ends up getting caught out by Rain, and we're again, like I said, we're just kind of reset here, ball deep in friendly territory for Junkyard Dogs, finding a kill here, finding a kill there, but then getting traded right back. So we got some time here to maybe see if we can see a play develop.
I'm seeing some sword attempts on Gingy's life here, and I just don't think that they're going to get it out of his hands. The ball is pretty firm. I mean, Solace taking a lunge with the sword is really just feeding Gingy at this point.
Absolutely.
I hope they can pull something together a little bit better than that in terms of a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Here he goes again.
Yeah, he's gonna take
No,
the sword out and
doesn't.
just force
He's
him back.
trying.
I think if Rain doesn't betray Lux there, maybe you see a more aggressive play by like Clockwork, but unfortunately they ended up with their tanking line not actually outnumbering the Junkyard Dogs tank line as Frenzy finds an opening. Frenzy with a triple
Oh,
kill on that
beautiful
push.
triple.
Fantastic play.
Oh, make it
Immediate
an over.
overkill.
Make it a
Make an
kill
attack.
tag.
Wevin with the kill on Lux. Oh no!
Oh.
Ends up okay though. Ball falls down.
Is he
a.
able?
Is he able to do it? Not quite. Demon looking for the play there. Doesn't
Frenzy's
quite
back
find
for
it.
more. He's back for more blood. Oh, nothing.
Oh my god, a very crazy play there. Very hectic scramble at the plate there. Wevin almost completely costing that point there by betraying Lux going for the sword on the ball carrier. Luckily, Lux just being a god tank immediately finds that
Get
triple
Solace
kill.
and Lux
Solace on the
breathing
far
down the
side.
goal.
And immediately they both fall. You see these moments of brilliance from Lux's team where you see why Lux is so highly rated for his skill. You see why Solace is so good. You see why Rain is such a good tank. But then Nkot's team comes roaring back here where they find that counter double kill, that counter triple kill, and saving at the plate. And that's why we're still 3 minutes into this round, and it's still only 1-1 in this second game.
Really high highs and really low lows here in this game. I know it can be a lot for a team. Hopefully they can pull together some plays, and I hope Wevin can see opportunities. But I still I'm kind of a doubter at the moment.
Yeah,
we'll see, though.
I do agree with you to some effect on that, because what I'm noticing with Nkot missing the sword there, but one thing I am noticing is that when Nkot's team has the ball, it's a good toss out by Wevin to save the ball. So it ends up being a slow play here as Solace is kind of a passed man right now, trying to have some havoc here on the back line. Gonna be bringing back a couple spawners to Solace though, so his team is gonna have to help him out. Very strong play here. Solace ends up dying, not getting that trade. Gets the punch.
Double.
It's one to beat, and that is a run-in by Wevin. Fantastic play by Like
Sponsored
Clockwork.
by Irene.
Absolutely.
He had an overkill. Made that happen, really.
Absolutely. And you saw that
Just
Demon
kept
was left
taking
with that
space.
1-1. And you'll note that as we saw earlier where Lux had the little step back to try and pull the hammer and then kill the hammer to go for the score, Wevin, learning from his older brother, does a little bit of a stutter step, pulls out that hammer from Demon, and then just goes right past him. Doesn't even need to waste the time killing him.
Yeah.
And ends up with a 2-1 scoreline as finally, Like Clockwork, starting to find another gear here, starting to find some space where they are actually in the lead of this game, and for the first time in this entire series, I should say.
Yeah, I wouldn't count out Wevin just yet. He's got some. If he can just pull together some playmaking, just kind of pay attention to what his team is telling him. I'm sure. I know Solace. I know Lux. Those guys are probably chattering his ear off right now. If
Absolutely.
just kind of listen to the wisdom and pay attention to the in-game leadership, I'm sure that they can.
Oh, now last space
together.
here. That's a turnover.
Turnover.
Costly turnover with Lux going to be the ball carrier. Wevin trying to find space. Oh, unfortunately, the turnover will still happen. Wevin did not actually absorb that swing, so it ends up getting the ball carrier and Wevin killed. And so, unfortunately, will be a turnover right back into Gingy's hands. Man, that is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean it's worth it just for that disruption, But yeah, like very few times you're gonna turn that into a goal, but definitely worth it for the disruption.
I do think though that was probably a goal, but with Lux carrying it in, if Wevin could have gotten that trade there, I do think Lux gets the punch into dash and gets onto the plate. But it is very tight. I do agree with you on that one.
I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Oh, it's a turnover, double turnover. We're right back where we started.
Yep, there we are.
Genji's got the ball.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here trying to keep the camera on the ball carrier, and they just keep turning it into different people and different people. Nkot finding the kill here on Rain. Lux gonna play for it. That's a trade.
Oh,
Goes just too soon.
Barely,
just too soon.
Out of the.
Because he was already hurt from the punch.
Back like a couple feet there, he would have had a goal. I think he was retaining his thrust. I don't know if he still had it or not, but if he did, that would have been a goal.
Absolutely. Solace now going to try for this counterplay here on the far flank. Rain putting in a lot of W keying and dashing here onto the front tank line. Jinji will clean that up against Rain as Lux is look for an opening here. Forces the boost out of Nkot. Nkot boostless right now as is Lux, so they're kind of at a standstill on this right side. Solace will get cleared. Nkot with a fantastic double kill. That's a double sword on the ball carrier.
To the left
Toss
corner.
it out to Lux. Lux is going to be very quickly met with the full force of Junkyard Dogs. Demon going to be the ball carrier here, going for the punch, going to go for another punch. Unfortunately, there's a lockout on that one.
So close.
Lux
so
is going to hold on to it.
One.
Absolutely. Again, we are seeing just how closely matched these teams are. That pretty much Nkot's team will clamp down on mistakes made, whereas Lux is just such a good tank and potentially such a good IGL. I'm not hearing the comms right now, but you have to think with the experience difference between these teams and the scoreline being so close, that has to be making a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lux is really putting on a performance right now. He's already 41 and 28.
Oh my God, I see that.
It's just going to keep growing. If he goes with a 2.0 KDO or KDA where he's getting 2 kills for every life, I mean, that's going to make a huge difference.
Pass play forward to Rain here. Are we going for like a counter throw here? What's going on? Interesting triangle play here by Lux's team. Yeah, try and get them kind of out of position.
Oh,
and it's kind of worked. It's kind of worked. And it gets
He's gonna clean it up.
And Wevin will clean it up. He picked it up and got the kill. We'll go up to a 3-1 scoreline here as Wevin picks up right from where his older brother left off. Lux, unfortunately, getting body blocked by, I believe that was Demon, saving the initial score there, but then immediately Wevin cleans that up after Demon's dead and walks it in.
Follow-up. This is not looking good. The entire team is right on the goal line.
Oh my God, double kill by Nkot, but Solace saves it at the plate by getting the trade back on Nkot there.
Could have been a goal.
Absolutely. That would have been a massive morale booster for Nkot. Double kill by Nkot, double kill by Demon. There's only one here for like Clockwork. Oh, double kill again for Demon and overkill for Nkot. It was essentially a double overkill. Oh my God, that has got to boost the morale there for Junkyard Dogs, who I was just about to say, looking at the score lines here, their entire team up until this point was negative. They were all on a negative KD, so they were getting completely out-tanked by Lux's team. Lux's team finding a different gear. Nkot's team's got to find a way to stabilize here before the game gets out of hand.
On.
Far throw there to Demon, as Demon's going to be looking at by a sword from Solace. Solace does get the sword play, as it is going to immediately be in Rain's hands. Lux is on the plate, gets Nkot. We are at a 4-2 scoreline. Where was this like Clockwork last game?
Wow.
It is a completely different game now. I feel like we're going to a 1-1. I feel like we're going to a full 3 games here.
I think we're going to get a full series. I think we're getting a full series.
And I am all here for it. Oh, a very aggressive play.
That might turn out.
That might work. Recharge, unfortunately getting traded, and Demon. If one of them stays alive there, that play might actually work, and it would be again a crazy play. Might be a morale booster, but again, that's another Hail Mary play. We're starting to see Nkot's team, Junkyard Dogs, look a lot like Lux's team did in the first game, where they're kind of going for Hail Mary plays, try and get past the tanking line because they just can't break through the out tanking being done by Lux's team. It looks like that Lux's team has warmed up, and it looks like that the Dogs might be a little out of energy.
Yeah,
Lux is still alive? My God.
He is. Wow, he gets another kill.
Absolutely insane here. Lux does end up dying to
Cleaned
Jinji.
up by Jinji.
Yeah. Crazy plays there. He almost had the ninja play, got with the sword, tried to go for another kill, goes for the double. Again, Lux is, if I remember correctly, last season Nkot was the king of like he'd jump forward and hammer down and get like the hammer slam, double kill, triple kill, and it looks like that
he definitely tries to suss those out and go for them.
Yeah, but it looks like Lux is actually finding the opening there by Nkot.
Turnover,
insanely costly turnover. That is a goal. Immediate clapback here as somehow Nkot gets that kill and gets that turnover to force a 4-3 scoreline.
That was a loss by Wevin. I hate to say that was an error from Wevin. He tried to go for this punch on, I believe, Nkot.
On Nkot, yeah.
And just lost the punch.
Yeah, well, so it actually looked like that somehow Nkot kind of like was, I guess, maybe out of his reticle because he didn't get the punch magnetism. Nkot just kind of sailed past him and hammer stopped him. So it was actually a very weird interaction, but I do agree with you that it is an unfortunate error by Wevin that puts us to a 4-3 scoreline. We might be going to a 4-4 at match
moving
point.
very fast.
Absolutely. We got Frenzy sitting on the right side, ends up getting out-tanked by Yluxe and Solace. Demon going for it as well. Yluxe and Solace, again, solid tanking line as Rain and Wevin are just being able to force back Gingy, who's got no one to help him. Yluxe gets the double kill again. Yluxe has gotten double kill after double kill after double kill on these plays, both when they are on offense and when they are on defense, and it is making the difference. Looking at the scoreline here, again, 64-40 by Yluxe. That is a plus 25 now. Demon getting another kill. That's 3 dead for the Junkyard Dogs, and they just can't find anything here. Their tanking line is just Swiss cheese as both the flankers are out on the flanks. Recharge dead, Nkot way too far, and it's going to end up being a reset here as Recharge will take the ball here in the corner for the moment.
Like Gingy's got the ball back, but yeah, I mean, really just a lot of pressure. We still got 3 guys up alive. They just don't seem to be stopping. You hate to be in this position where there's just the enemy team breathing down your neck every chance they can, pushing you to the corner with the ball. I don't know if they're going to be able to bring together the KD, bring together the tanking line to reverse this.
A double sword here. It doesn't even matter if it's double sword. Yluxe gets the turnover, and we might be heading right to a 5-3 scoreline here as the tanking line completely comes in. Wevin almost killing his older brother, his captain. Yluxe here carrying the ball, and that will bring us to a 5-3 scoreline. The scoreline has flipped, and we are to a 1-1 match score. We are going to full series match point. Next game wins.
Wow. I did not expect that from like Clockwork, but they really, really warmed up. I think that they stopped making as many mistakes.
Absolutely.
And, I'm happy to see it. I'd love to see 4-4 Griff Ball. I'd love to see 1-1 series like this.
Look at this. Demon being essentially even at 51-51. And look at Nkot and Recharge both over -20. Insane plays by the Like Clockwork squad here as you got a plus 30 from their captain. Both other tanks, Rain and Solace, being just barely positive. And the only one negative is the ball carrier, who's not supposed to necessarily be the one getting all the kills. So everyone playing their part. Wevin, not as many costly turnovers as there were in the first game. Still want to clean some of those up, as it did give some chances to Nkot's team. Nkot's team was mere feet from multiple scores. This series could have been over already.
At -10 for Wevin is looking really, really good.
Absolutely.
I think getting him really close to even like that as the ball runner, I think that's pretty impressive. That shows that he is paying attention, that he is learning from his mistakes.
Absolutely.
And just recharging down -22 and Nkot down -22. I wouldn't normally expect that from those two. Now, Irene, Solace, and Yluxe being the primary tanks you're up against throughout the game, it makes sense. But I think that they've just kind of got to pull it together here. Like, Demon isn't insanely positive. Gingy isn't positive. I don't know where they're going to find purchase on these pushes.
One thing I think that could really help here, that might be could be part of a pep talk here for Nkot to his squad, is they gotta watch that spacing when Yluxe is coming in. There were multiple double kills, triple kills that were just all in one swing. It wasn't like one after the other. It was a double, a double, a double, and when you give up 2 people that quickly, you're gonna have, unfortunately, you're gonna have times where you're just gonna get run over because you just can't respawn in time. And because there's no more spawn protection this season, when you respawn, you are immediately vulnerable. So if the opposing squad is in your face, they will get the first swing.
Yeah, you'll be born under punches, man. I mean, it's just nothing you can do in those cases.
Absolutely.
And they're definitely taking advantage of that. And you're only, you can be as good of a player as you want to be, but there's nothing you can do when you're not around to stop a play. And we've unfortunately we saw a lot of that with Nkot. They just were not the Junkyard Dogs were just not alive enough.
Right, absolutely. So I'll have to see here who's going to end up taking it in this final game of this best of 3. We have a much closer game than we might have thought at the beginning, but it is surely delivering. So here we are into game 3 of 3. We're going to see, will Yluxe's team hold on to that momentum from game 2 to bring us to a 2-1 reverse sweep, or will we instead see Nkot's team clutch up, bring back some of that energy from the first game, and bring us to a 2-1 scoreline where they hold on to their undefeated streak in matches? Here, Wevin gonna
right off rip. We've We've got a like Clockwork winning the tip-off.
Yep, and they've
Definitely
actually
looking
got
good for
this
them.
quick play here with Yluxe tanking and Weven. Weven maybe wants to be a little bit closer to his front tank, goes for the punch, ends up forcing a, I think that was a betray on by Demon on Nkot. That's an open line there. That is an
Beautiful play.
early score. Weven finding that intuition there where he sees how close he can actually play that play. He had low shields, but he knew that he had the in there if Rain finds that kill. Rain finds that kill, and that is a smooth sail for Weven on a very tight window. Oh, is that a pro run?
Oh.
That might be a pro run. Does not quite get
he
it. Doesn't get the
busted it.
punch.
He couldn't quite get. Yeah, I have a theory here about why this performance is going this way and why they won that game too. I think that Solace, he's I've played with him in 2 seasons before, and I know.
Does Weven not know there's a sword behind him? Weven was
did not see
positioning.
that.
I don't think he knew the sword was behind him. Breakdown and comms there luckily does not result in a turnover, as 2 of his tanks were looking at him, probably saying, "Hey, Weven, you have a sword behind you." And
Yeah,
unfortunately,
around the
will
health
force the
pack.
turnover. Yeah, will force the turnover at health pack, and you've got a bit of a fast play here by the Like Clockwork squad. Won't end up resulting in anything except the turnover, where the way that Nkot's team won the first game was by possession control. They may not have been able to break that tanking line often, but by holding onto the ball for the vast majority of the time, it was a matter of time before that 5-3 scoreline came out, even after that 9-minute game in that, or 9-minute round in that first game. So we'll see where it goes from here. Gingy not ready for the sword as Yluxe does a quick swivel on him, gives the ball right back to his younger brother Weven, as Weven is going to take this in.
There with Yluxe.
Yeah.
So dangerous. You really, I mean, I know as a runner myself, like I will never try to contest that with him. You just don't know what tricks.
Yluxe
he's
still
gonna pull up
alive
his
there
sleeve.
in the far corner. Yluxe still finding space there, being able to hold on to space here as somehow still not dead. I'm actually surprised to see Yluxe here out on the flank. Typically, he is kind of their main tank going in, and you end up getting a trade here on the main line as Yluxe. And we can see here the captains are just kind of raw dog-eyeing each other, just looking at each other like, so what are we doing here? Are we just going to stand here or are we going to kill someone? And it turns out to work out for Nkot's squad, as again, they've boxed Weven in. I do feel that Weven is keeping like 1 or 2 extra steps between him and his front tanking line. I don't know if that's by instruction of his team or if he is just playing a little bit safer to not have as many turnovers, but that does mean that they won't take advantage of as many possible plays. Ends up throwing it out here to Yluxe.
I would bet that it's exactly what you're saying there. I think that they're paying attention a lot to the ball runner. It's kind of like, that's the person with the ball that's like the baby in the room. You get your eyes just.
Oh my
glued
God,
on them,
Yluxe
and it
is just
looks
going to
like
have a
it's
free
gonna turn
run
over.
here. A free run. Oh my God. Weven almost betraying the ball carrier Yluxe right at the plate. That could have been extremely tilt inducing. That has been twice. That could have been costly turnovers that cost them points. Luckily doesn't, so they end up with a 2-1 or 2-0 scoreline right now going into this round 3 of game 3. Gingy here with the ball carry.
But yeah, I theorize that Solace is warmed up. This is a guy, he comes in cold to every game, every league match.
He doesn't scrim,
and I
right?
think- no, he doesn't scrim. He doesn't practice. He'll maybe get on for 30 minutes before the game, but I think he's coming in just super cold, and now he's actually fired up, and we're seeing that A rank performance.
Absolutely. So we'll have to see here if Demon's going to find this flank here, as again Solace and Yluxe. How many times have we seen this where Solace and Yluxe are going to go mark that flanker and ends up taking too long for them to develop a play on the main line, so they don't manage to take advantage of the fact that 2 people are being used for 1 player. A lot of tanking trades here coming out as Demon is going to now be again on the far flank, now on the left side. Gingy with no tanks in front of him. Demon finds the kill on Rain. Does he find the kill on Weven? He finds the kill on Weven. Solace is playing kind of keep away here as he's marking the ball carrier, so the ball carrier can't go for the throw. Demon is completely cornered, nowhere to run, and so unfortunately that play won't develop into anything. There were openings there if Solace was not in the way, but Solace, fantastic spacing, fantastic marking, giving a good example of what it's like to hold on to space, even if you don't get any kills, even if you don't
A double
do much
kill from
pressure.
Gingy.
Yep, another double kill by the ball carrier as Recharge going in for that right side. I feel like Recharge and playing a little fast. I feel like Recharge has kind of gotten a little bit W key for the last handful of rounds, and it is costing the team in terms of pressure. Nkot at the plate.
Yeah.
Lux going against Nkot. This might be a throw play. Punches Weven. Nkot again holding onto this space. Can he find 1 or 2 more kills to give some space for Gingy to go for the throw? He will not. Solace is warmed up. Lux going for the 360 sword as Nkot gets killed by the entire rest of the Lux lineup here for like Clockwork, and they're going to end up resetting this play right back at midfield. We are as if the round just started.
Yeah,
Recharge developing a play
very
here.
Strong tanking.
Oh, Recharge finding space. Going just
lost
too
the ball. Can
fast,
they
but
get it?
Demon will get it right back.
Let's go.
Demon getting it right back, and that is going to put them on the board here, putting us to a 2-1 scoreline in Game 3, Round 3. We're now moving into Round 4 as Junkyard Dogs now on the board in this final game of the match. But it's looking like potentially Lux's team's going to have the kickoff here, even with the double kill by Nkot. Lux is just very good at those follow-ups. Tosses it out to his spawning ball carrier. Weaven's going to pick it up. There you go. And Rain and Lux are going to assume this main tank line. Solace going to be the flanker. Demon ends up getting the kill. Weven misses the punch. Horrible turnover. That is a quick pass there.
Gets it and, he scores.
Very fast play.
Gotta really sting. That's
Yeah.
gotta really sting. I know that those guys are really upset by that. Weven's probably punching himself. I hope that they can keep that morale high. On
I imagine Weven's not the only one punching himself.
He may be getting punched by Jaden. You're right.
He may be getting a little bit of brotherly love here, as we might call it in the business. And so we're gonna see if Weven maybe can lock it in, bring us 3 successful rounds here where they can get it before Nkot's team does and complete the reverse sweep here. Lux just making so much havoc here in the back line, making it real hard for Nkot's team to find any push, as Nkot will swipe in, get Rain, look for Solace, gets Solace. We're seeing a fast play here. Nkot gets Lux. Nkot's sword. Nkot's hammer here ends up just falling short here. 1 more kill. Demon collapses into the plate. Maybe you get that fast play. Gets the kill on Rain. Gets the kill on Solace as they tried for a fast 1-2 punch, but that reload by Gingy ends up costing the play.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like, they're gonna get plays where if Gingy can get like a double punch, I mean they're good to go. Like right there, he's getting these double kills, he's chained together. He's going for Rain, he's going for Weven with those. I think he's probably getting a little bit more aggressive here.
Absolutely.
22 and 16, I think he's feeling himself, he's feeling a little confident with the ball. I think they may pull together a better tanking line because of that.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at these stat lines as well, and it is looking like it's actually a pretty comparable tanking stats in terms of deaths. Where both sides are, but it's a little bit desynced here, where basically throw play going in for Recharge doesn't quite work, but it was
very ambitious. We had a lot of people spawning there. I would not have gone for that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that either they got a little bit excited because they finally got some scores in this game and because of that fast interception play, or if they're just getting potentially actually getting a little bit antsy, not feeling like they want to wait for these plays to develop, because they have found that actually when they wait, Lux's team is warmed up and will actually out-tank them in those ways.
Yeah, I mean it's a fair calculation there. I mean you kind of just want to take the chances you can get. I generally don't go for those if I know that 3 people are about ready to spawn, but
No, I agree. Yeah,
they have a different calculation in their head. They're in the heat of it right now.
Solace is still alive in that. Okay, he finally ends up falling to Recharge, and he had been out there for a good 30 seconds or so, just taking another member, taking 2 members, making it take time for them to actually respond, force them to respond. Weven not really knowing what to do with the ball, but it's back on Rain there. Yeah, it was a little bit of an awkward play there where I think Weven didn't feel like he had anyone to pass to because all of his tanks were around him, and so he just ended up second-guessing what his play should be here.
As long as it doesn't turn to like a crazy multi-kill, you're usually going to be okay. The tanks will come pick it up, but
Weven I feel like Weven's showing a little bit of antsiness there, thinking that there's maybe a second member. He threw it to no one in the far corner as a safety throw, which is respectable, but he only had 1 guy on him with a tank in front of him. So it was a little bit of potentially some nerves coming in here. I'm seeing him turning around, not paying attention to the people in front of him. I think Weven's starting to show the cracks of a long match here.
Yeah, a long match. I mean, I don't know if this is just kind of been stressful for him. I mean, he hasn't played a lot of league games. I don't think they've played any games yet, have they?
If I'm not mistaken, this would be Lux's team's first league game, at least on stream.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely a little bit of nerves potentially coming in there for Weven. Lux managing to hold on to the ball there. Again, Lux just knows that line. He knows the exact line to toe to stay out of range of those hammers and make it hell for the opposing team.
Solace making a very solid flank right now.
Absolutely.
He's got 2 on him, but they don't seem to have the push.
So what I'm noticing here though is that play potentially works with a stronger ball carrier who's more sure of himself. You could see Weven just did not even want to try against Jinji because he knows if he turns it over, it's gonna hurt.
And he kind of can't. And when you're nervous about that, we
double
get
kill,
a beautiful double kill,
triple kill by Rain. That is almost the exterm, and the two tanks just open the red carpet and say ball carrier Weven after you. Going in for a 3-2 scoreline. Lux's team finding the lead here in game 3, and that's definitely going to help out their tanking line feel a little bit more confident. Weven feel a little bit more comfortable where he is. Somehow misses the hammer there by Recharge.
Wow.
Unfortunately, doesn't get to capitalize it, but insane play there. I will say, from my experience when I was first starting in this league, whenever that happened to me, I would get very like, oh crap, wow, I'm alive, I'm going to do something. And then you do something, and the something would get nothing because you're just moving way too fast, and you're way too excited about the fact that you didn't die. So I have a feeling that might have been what happened there. Exactly, where you're just like, I can't die, and then you immediately die. And so Weven coming in here with the tank line on Demon. Weven pulling out the sword, trying to make it feel really stressful. Turnover. Rain going for the ball, sees the button. Yep, ends up not being a full turnover. Jinji gonna immediately pick that back up. Very close play there.
I believe in my guy Jinji here.
Absolutely.
I think I'm watching him and watching his perspective. He's 34 and 28. I think he's really, really just mature player, holding onto the ball, making good decisions. You know, they're taking risky throws, but I think he's got some reasoning behind it.
Case in point, looking at the score lines, we know the main ball carriers are Weven and Jinji. I look at Jinji's score line, which is just above positive, nearly the same number of deaths as Weven, but Weven with half the kills. And if your ball carrier is constantly having
chance there,
another chance, another time going for it. But you have to think with the score lines as it is between the two ball carriers, you can see the experience difference between the ball carriers. You can see the confidence difference between the two ball carriers, that Jinji's willing to put himself in that position.
Right. It's actually a lot of the reason why I was at the beginning of this kind of surprised that Jinji was the main carrier. Personally, if it were me making that team composition, I would have gone for Nkot as the carrier. I think he has enough experience, he has enough wits about him, and he plays on mouse and keyboard. He's not gonna like make any crazy mistakes. But you know, they went with Jinji. I think that they probably have good reasons for that. They know better than we do. But Jinji on the tanking line would have just done a lot more damage, I think, in my opinion.
Weven, again, he has no confidence in challenging the sword. You can see he immediately was looking for the throw as soon as the sword was out and in range.
Oh, yeah.
So he is definitely got a little bit of shattered confidence for the moment. And potentially Lux going to take over ball carrying duties for a little bit, let Weven kind of maybe get his head on straight, try a little bit of tanking, see if a little bit of some base tanking here might actually help the team find a new lineup as Recharge
it's back to Weven.
Back to Weven. All right. Maybe it was just
He's
an
alone
intermediate
with
play.
Demon.
Okay, Weven, there we go. Weven playing a little bit more aggressive there. Gonna push up field. One thing I've noticed with Weven, he loves that S key. He doesn't turn around to run away. He loves the S key. He's pressing back a lot and giving a lot of respect to the opponents. But when you give a lot of respect to your opponent, they will take advantage of that respect. And in this case, it is resulting in virtually no push pressure from the Like Clockwork lineup, as it looks like Weven wanted the handoff from Solace there. Very bad placement of the ball there. This could have been a horrific play. Rain somehow avoiding that hammer. This is chaos right now.
We were watching, like, this has been like a minute and a half of pure just in the spawn, throwing the ball, hoping for something.
Deflection.
I don't think that they could get out of this, dude. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
And the ball turns over again, recharging, just
throws it out, and that ball is purely turned over finally.
Special ops.
Got
in, got out, got the ball.
Well, he got in and threw the ball out. He certainly did not come out. But
yeah.
But like you said, we had a good, I think 60, 70 seconds there where it was Wevin or Rain or Lux who were getting the ball thrown to them, immediately throwing it back to the other corner, and there just was no time to breathe.
That kind of frenetic griff ball, you just end up, I mean, not knowing what to do after that. You just feel very, very unstable. I would not be surprised if a goal happens from Junkyard Dogs here in the next minute or two.
Absolutely, but we say that, and it looks like that, like Clockwork, actually kind of doing the same thing. Oh God, this ball is right at the plate, and no one's alive. Wevin will bring it in.
Turnover.
Fantastic. I was gonna say this is very risky movement by Junkyard Dogs as they were running over their own plate. Missed the punch. Teammate gets betrayed. A teammate on Lux's team actually gets betrayed, but it doesn't matter because just everyone on the Junkyard Dogs dies. We're at a 4-2 scoreline out of nowhere.
Oh, and they took it personally. Just got the ball right back.
Oh my God! Oh, they are.
Is it gonna be a goal?
They're feeling themselves.
It's a goal.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Frenzy playing to his name, saying, "I am done with this BS. I am done losing the Lux. I am going to get an overkill, and I am scoring this ball," putting us to a 3-4 scoreline. That is an emphatic statement right back into round 8 here as the two teams are. He used his ult. Absolutely. Pass back here to Gingy. I have to wonder if maybe do we think that they're going to stick with Gingy here on the tank, or maybe maybe they pull out a different play here, pull out a different lineup, try and get Lux unawares. They only need to win a couple rounds here. It is game point it's match point, almost game point. Well, it's game point for Lux, I should say. So maybe we see potentially some alternative play style here from Nkot's lineup, or they'll just lock it in.
I think they're just going to lock it in. I think at this point, your adrenaline's high. You just got a goal. They get one more point, you're going to lose the game. I mean, you're just going to go like, hey, let's just do what we're doing, do it a little bit harder. Absolutely. A very good positioning there from Wevin and Lux, who did not betray each other there. Wevin is showing the respect, showing the spacing, showing the prowess of his older brother, taking the learnings from Lux and making it very hard here for Gingy to get any space or any of the tanks for Nkot to actually get some space here. Frenzy goes for the sword. Completely whiffs, and so Solace will Goomba stomp him there and make it, again, very difficult for Gingy to do anything. Gingy looking for a punch. Gingy almost went for a punch. He would have lost that ball right then and there. There might have been a goal, might have cost the game.
Oh my God, this is a really bad position to be in. That throw out going to the corner. Demon is under pressure.
Two. Yeah,
Demon will keep the ball thrown right back to, it looks like probably Frenzy. No, Gingy's going to take it. Yep, like you said. So they end up finding that space. Demon now making Rain respect. If Demon was able to get a quick kill there, they might have been able to go for a fast play, but they don't even need to.
Doubles and triples. And
he got the double there and then got... Yeah, absolutely. Double swords here on Recharge. Recharge will get traded back for not getting both of those swords, and so Demon just gets killed for free there, goes for the jump play, doesn't quite work. Nkot gets killed by Rain. Frenzy trying to go for Lux does get him. We might see an opening play here on the right side as Recharge tries to get that reload, does not quite get it.
I see Gingy going to Recharge inside there. You do not want to play off of him as a runner. He doesn't handle that kind of position very well.
Correct. Oh, it was a costly turnover. Bad punch. Solace has the ball at the plate. Turnover at the plate, and Rain will score it.
Cleaning it up.
We are at a 5-3 scoreline. That is a 2-1 match score. The what is it? Oh, that's actually like Clockwork. My apologies. Like Clockwork will take the Dogs out to pasture, and it is going to be a 2-1 scoreline. The Junkyard Dogs will not hold on to an undefeated match score here in the AGLA Spring Major. Lux coming away with the win, an unexpected win from a less experienced roster. And if we look at the stats here, I'm looking at the stats here again. Nkot and Recharge both over -15 on this game, and again only Wevin going negative. Rain and Lux kind of splitting the positive there. Solace kind of splitting it actually evenly. Now that I'm looking at it, both averaging all three of them averaging around a +10. It was just a very, very clean play from Lux's team. Starting in game 2, if they found a gear, they found just that maybe Nkot's team was actually not able to develop any plays. They just had to wait for Nkot's team to make mistakes.
If I'm doing a post-mortem here, I mean, look at the stat lines. Who's the best player in terms of kills and deaths on Junkyard's team? It's Gingy, and he was holding the ball.
Absolutely.
I mean, are we really gonna have the? And he wasn't even that far behind on kills. The amount of kills that
Mhm.
Nkot had, 59, he only had 10 less than. I mean, that's just that's kind of brutal when
It
you're leaving
seems
that
like
much on the table.
it seems like you're putting your tank line is suffering because your ball carrier is having to do tanking as the ball
Yeah.
carrier, and your tanks aren't strong enough without the main tank guy as the front runner here. So potentially
Yeah.
moving into their third match of this season, maybe we'll see Nkot or Recharge taking the ball carrier mantle up. Maybe they'll try and re-strategize around Jinji being the ball carrier, and they'll come back better for it. They did do quite well despite this kind of strategy against Skullen's team. So maybe they'll just rearm, retool, and figure it out from there. But yeah, at the end of the day, Lux's team coming away with a hard fought, long won series. I'm pretty sure every single match averaged over 16, 17, 18 minutes. Last game was, I believe, a 16:30-ish. This one was 18:40, and I'm pretty sure that first one had to be the longest with a 9-minute round. So
Yeah.
we definitely had a very slogging best of 3 here, going the full distance. Not quite going to a 5-4 scoreline in any of the matches. Actually going 5-3, 5-3, and 5-3 all 3 times. So one team kind of, it was a very close game, but then like when you have 2 really close teams, all it takes is 1 or 2 things to tip the scales, and suddenly you go from it being 3-3 or 4-3, and suddenly boom, you lose 5-3.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask around if anybody wants to come in here and talk about the game, what they were going through during that game, and
Absolutely.
give some thoughts.
Yeah, I'd love to get some insights from either from potentially anyone on Lux's team, or if anyone on the Junkyard Dogs would like to talk, they are welcome to. But I can understand if after a game like that, a close match like that, they might want to take a minute and decompress.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask around. Yeah, so I mean, just it's kind of common logic. Like I said, you usually don't want to have a pretty decent tank be your runner.
Hmm.
Obviously, we can look back on our season on Operation Doomsday. We
Yep.
gave Ace the ball. That was kind of a unique strategy. But
What's funny is from
it
my
just
perspective, it actually was a smart strategy. To me, Ace was the best runner out of the 4 of us, so it
yeah.
made the most sense to run it that way. And while I
Well,
was not as good at
for
tanking, but yeah.
the rule applies to everybody but Satoru Gojo, and it just happened to be that Ace is just such a prolific runner. It just kind
As
of made
Rebs
itself
said that
work.
entire season, Ace be running. Ace
Ace be
do be
running.
running. So let's see here if I'm assuming you're sending some messages out, see if anyone on Lux's team wants to have a quick chat.
I am. We will see. I think it's going to maybe be a second here. Nobody
Yeah,
responded to me.
no problem, no problem.
They said they're doing important team chatting.
No, of course.
Okay.
That's fair.
They've got to think about their strategy. Well, we may not get anybody to talk to, but that's all right.
That's
We
all
will
right.
see. Give it a couple minutes here.
Still a fantastic series all around. Honestly, it will be in the nitty gritty here of the minor elements. I don't think that there were if Lux's team had not pulled out the comeback here and we had seen a 2-0 sweep by Nkot's team, I feel like we would have been talking about how Weven just needs to get some more time under his belt and spend more time,
Yeah.
in the hyperbolic time chamber, learning to be a ball carrier and learning to work on his older brother's team. But it, as we saw over the series, they kind of decided, rather than Weven trying to kind of push the envelope, they said, you know what, Weven, take your time, hold the ball, don't turn it over, and we will make the plays. We will find the space. We will get us those scores that we need. And when push comes to shove, we'll find 1 or 2 turnovers that end up giving us this match. And that's exactly what happened. So they don't end up getting punished for the inexperience. But I can imagine that other teams looking at this, and I can say this as someone on a team, I imagine you're thinking about this as well with your team, that Weven is the
Oh yeah.
weak link here. Weven is the person that if you can get him off his kilter, if you can get him off his game, that can wreak havoc in the back line.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a risky play having be your primary runner, but I kind of understand like from Lux's perspective. I mean, are you gonna have Solace run full time? Are you gonna have
Right.
Rain run full time? And then like if Lux ran, I mean that would be suicide because Lux is this guy who on the tanking line is pulling these crazy
Mm-hmm.
numbers. I mean, you just are leaving that on the table.
Absolutely.
So
And I think
it,
that as some people were saying that I think Wevin is he's gonna level up quite a bit over the course of the season. That first season when you've got a bit of a star-studded lineup, you're gonna learn a lot. And
yeah,
he's going to get a lot better over the course of the season. So if you can avoid the losses here where it's real close and the mistakes could be taken advantage of and they aren't, then that makes it so that you can still learn the learnings from the games in VOD review or in late league, but you don't end up taking the cost of taking the losses and potentially having a lower seed or not making the playoffs.
right. And just from what I've seen of Lux over the years here, it's just he has this because that first game was brutal. I mean, what did they lose? Like, was it a 5-3? I actually don't remember
5-3. Yeah,
fully. It
5-3.
was a 5-3. I think it was 5-3 every game. No,
Yes, that's what I was saying. Is it was 5-3, 5-3, 5-3. Every game was very close until it wasn't.
a lot of teams they would have come away from that like Clockwork. They would have come away from that and been like, wow, I mean, that was a brutal loss. We made all these mistakes. I'm just kind of feeling bad about themselves, and I think that there's something about Lux. He just kind of has a bit of a plot armor where
Mm-hmm.
he's able to pull together a game. He
It
really wants to win. He needs to win. It's
he's a
just kind of a
player.
different
Yeah.
motivation.
He's a player that no matter what, you're going to see him on the positive side of that column. You're going to see him in the positives. He's going to get you the kills. It's just going to be whether or not the team is going to follow up on those good plays of his and exploit the mistakes of the opponent, cuz Lux always performs. I've never seen him not perform near the top of his table essentially, where he's the guy
Oh yeah.
who's leading the charge. He's got the standard and he's saying, "Follow me. Get behind me. Let's go." So,
Yeah, and so I don't know. I mean, coming away from this, I don't know what they're having some important team discussions. What Nkot said, I think they're really thinking about their strategy.
sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I think they need a change up on the runner. I don't think Jinji's a bad runner. He's probably the best runner on
Mhm.
that team, but he's not that much better of a runner versus a tank that you
What
would make
what
the
do you think?
calculation.
What do you think about with the team lineup though? Because you will see here with that's Nkot, Demon, Gingy, and Recharge. They do have Salty Peter Bread in the wings and potentially Scrappy does if they really want to. Um, for a potential swap up here, I'm not sure that I would say at this point that they'd want to maybe think about their fifth, maybe think about whether or not they want to play a different fifth, what their fifth in place.
Well,
But
Pete
I'm
Pete
curious.
can do well, but he needs to do Peter Bread can do well. He just needs to be in a position where he's not being relied upon to do well, and then he kind of finds his moment and shines,
Right,
if that
right.
makes sense. Which is kind of the same for Frenzy. Frenzy's kind of that same player where he's like, he's if he's relied upon to be a tank and to hold the line, which is kind of how they set themselves up, just think about it, right? So it's Demon, Recharging, and Incot, and those people going against Lux. I mean, you think about the 1v1s and the fights. It's like Demon can win a 1v1 against Lux
Hmm.
a fair percentage of the time, but for Frenzy and Incot, it's basically never. I mean, that's just a very, very hard situation to overcome from a tanking line perspective. So
Right. And I would have.
I feel like I want Jinji in there
Yeah.
if I'm that captain.
Yeah, and I mean, Gingy definitely proved his worth at a minimum. That I mean, there was essentially no turnovers from Gingy apart from absolutely blown plays, like crazy plays that were happening. But Gingy almost never turned the ball over, essentially. So even though, like you're saying, he might be better suited at tank, when they put him where they needed him, he performed. He did what he needed to do, and he brought out the win for the team, even if it was a bit of a rocky start to begin.
Yeah, so I think definitely a team to pay attention to, see if they change their composition up at all,
Yeah.
going to the rest of the season games.
Yeah, and
Um,
I wonder if I have to imagine obviously after a win they're not going to do this, but I have to imagine that Lux do you think Lux is ever willing to sub his younger brother out and put in someone instead as the ball carrier, or do you think that they're going to stick it out with Wevin through thick and thin on this season?
well, so if we're looking at what they have left on the team,
They got Panther and
it's
Samuel
Panther.
Adams. Yeah.
Sam Adams hasn't played at all,
Okay.
as far as I can tell. He might get on and play. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Uh, Panther Lily is a solid player, but that's a guy who wants to W key.
Right.
And if you're having him on the field, he's not going to run the ball. I don't think he cares to run the ball. So
Hmm.
he just wants to be kind of that non-committal runner, someone
Hmm.
that's going to come in and like you're not relying on him to get all the kills. You're just relying on him to get in there, maybe make a play happen.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
you're leaving that gap. Who's going to be the runner? In that case, I would know. I don't know what I would do. I wouldn't give it to Rain. I don't think Rain wants to be a runner. He kind
No,
of like, he's like, he's like Samwise Gamgee trying to like, I don't know. He doesn't want the ring or
no,
whatever, right?
absolutely, absolutely not. He's
You could
happy.
give it to
Yeah,
Solace. I don't know, but Lux
yeah,
taking the ball would be inting,
absolutely.
frankly.
I definitely think that their primary strategy, unsurprising, especially considering Weven is their fourth, their primary strategy is just going to be Weven to go into the hyperbolic time chamber, get become the carrier, the ball carrier we need you to be. Just become a little bit more consistent on potentially getting those punches, dealing with swords, not cracking under pressure, and also this experience definitely has to be a massive learning experience of just when the games get long, when the rounds take forever, don't lose your patience, don't lose your head, and go one play at a time, go one ball carry at a time. Because if you get too hyped up, if you move too quick, you'll end up turning the ball over very costfully, which did happen, and luckily did not cost them the entire series.
I can think of at least 3 goals that pretty much amounted to
Yeah,
Weapon losing the ball.
right. We
So
Yeah.
that's a lot. I mean, the grand scheme of things over the course of the series, that's a lot. I mean, you just have to minimize that. Like Jinji
Mhm.
wasn't doing that, I don't think. I can't think of any
There was
instances where
there
he
was
lost the ball.
one crazy blown play in the last game here where the ball got turned over on Junkyard Dogs's plate. Like the ball was just killed at the plate and Weven just walked up and picked it up and scored. But other than that, I can't think of any wild plays where Jinji just completely lost the plot or was just completely out of position. He was he definitely did not have that one play where Weven forgot that there was a sword behind him. He definitely didn't do that. So that definitely proves something out in terms of experience differences.
Yeah. Uh,
Do you think we're
so
seeing anyone from the Luxor and Nkot lineups tonight, or do you think we'll probably close it out for now?
I'm gonna go ahead and do one last call. See if anybody shows up here.
All right, yeah, no
If
problem.
if they do, pop into Eagle or Cobra, and I'll just drag you up against your will
Okay.
on in the Discord chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're gonna be in their team chat in here. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know who Hexcast77 is.
Yeah,
They
me
said let you
neither.
get that interview. Do you know that? Okay.
I do not. I do not. I do not know who that is. Um,
If I
I,
were to guess, oh, it's Irene. Is that who
ah,
it is?
no. I thought Rain was Rain in Twitch. Maybe
No,
not. Oh, there's
no.
Rain. Hello.
You have some thoughts, Irene?
Give
Oh,
us.
I got a lot of thoughts. I
Yeah.
think that the sun is actually not real, but no. I just wanted to say shout out to you guys for the stream. Shout out to
Oh,
Junkyard Dogs. That was a menace of a match, and definitely exposed some learning curves that my team has to go through for sure. But just want to give a shout out to both teams quick. That's pretty much it.
Well,
yeah, man.
yeah.
Awesome game.
Thank you for the words, and it was a fantastic series to watch. You guys were at the highest of highs, lowest of lows, and everywhere in between throughout that series. That was a fantastic
Yeah.
series and a chaotic
I
one at that.
I do have one question to ask. How are you guys feeling about team composition? I assume you're just kind of like Wevin's got to just beef up, like his first season. But I mean, how are you guys feeling about team composition?
I mean, yeah, first of all, like mad props to Levin. Getting is thrown into a pro season, and on top of that, being made and forced to be a runner in a pro season is not easy. So it's definitely we're definitely working out the kinks with him. Solace is knocking the rust off. I'm trying to get better. Lux is doing Lux things and carrying us and coaching us. So it's definitely a work in progress. We definitely, I mean, you guys saw the game. We had like six to 10 free turnovers that gave them goals that were just nasty on our side of the ball. So it's
Yeah,
definitely
brutal.
something to watch the tapes on. But we're learning. I think the team composition so far is cool, but it'll be interesting. It's definitely going to be one of those situations where it's how strong is your fourth player, and we have confidence in Levin and he has confidence in himself. We just got to keep it there. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I was thinking, like, is there a bit of micromanaging happening from Lux? Just kind of is it from a older brother perspective?
Oh, for sure. There's definitely like the brotherly one-on-one tape sessions, where the rest of the team is not invited. But you know,
Gotcha.
it's all out of respect, and Levin always takes it with in stride.
Good.
He does a really good job of not, you know, taking criticism too harshly, and he's probably the hardest one on the team on himself. You know, he knows when he fucks up, and he knows when he, you know, makes mistakes here and there, and he's always the first one to admit it and kind of, you know, try to adjust and roll over from it. So again, nothing but props and shout
Yeah,
outs
good
to Levin.
sport
Good.
for sure. I could kind of tell that from him, just his vibe. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I was gonna say, you don't have to go too far behind the curtain if you don't want to, but how was Wevin feeling after such a long season, after such a long series? I mean, you guys all the games averaging close to 20 minutes here. This is a pretty long one to start your season off on.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely winded. It's his, you know, it's his first varsity game, so
Right.
he played the full minutes, but you know, he was excited to get that win. You know, it was lots of celebrations, lots of celebrating Wemby when we won that game. So
Absolutely.
you know, he definitely got his championship moment, even though it's just game one. But you know, we're gonna see where the season goes.
Sure.
Absolutely. Hey, you got to
Yeah.
start the season off on a high. And from what I can tell, you guys, looking at the schedule, it looked like you guys actually have a couple games potentially to make up from earlier last week. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot more tape on you guys and see how Wevin develops over the course of the season.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely we're looking forward to that week one matchup that we had to reschedule, which is, you know, the Hell's team, the scary team. But
Yeah,
you know, we definitely got a lot of tape work and a lot of footwork to get down before then. But yeah, you guys are definitely going to see us a lot more often in these weeks to come with our reschedules. So
absolutely. And Wevin in
Yeah.
the chat actually saying, "I will develop." Man is confident. I like to see that out of a new blood
Love
in
to
the
see it.
in the season.
dude, Wemby's
So
the goat. Shout out Wemby.
yeah, absolutely. Well,
Wemby. I
uh,
Yeah, I was gonna say about that, missed games last week. It's probably all gonna pile up in the last couple weeks, just the way it goes,
yeah.
you know.
It is what it is. We get the games played, and you know what that actually means though is that week leading up to playoffs, that is gonna be an exciting time to be in AGLA.
Oh yeah.
That is
Oh
that
yeah.
we're gonna have double headers, potentially triple headers, maybe. It's gonna be utter chaos, and we are all here for it. My voice will be
Yeah.
shot by the end of that week.
I know from my perspective as a player, what ends up happening is I'll lose a game or two and take it personally, and then I'm grinding late league. Last
Hmm.
couple weeks before playoffs, I'm grinding late league. I'm grinding scrims. A lot of people are gonna be thinking that way, so we're gonna see some really, really high level play coming into playoffs.
Absolutely. I'm all here for it. Uh, any last parting words, Rain, before we call it here?
No, just shout out to the Snake Boys. So shout out to both teams. Shout out to the Junkyard Dogs for putting up a hell of a fight, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you very much, Irene. And thank you
Awesome.
everyone for watching the stream tonight. That is the end of our stream tonight, and you will see us back here next time for the AGLA Spring Major, as we will have more teams going up against each other. It looks like that the next scheduled matches are actually Nkot's Junkyard Dogs versus Devio's. Let's see here. It's Devio's Passive Theory team. We'll have to see if that's actually going to be our next match. It's the next scheduled, but sometimes we will have to reschedule things around. Keep an eye out on socials, as well as join the AGLA Discord to keep up onto updates for this season. Otherwise, I've been Aklon. This has been, as well as Deathcrawler here joining me on the cast. This has been Play Griffball AGLA Spring Major. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good night.
Peace.